Hello, my name is Giselle, and today Amanda, Ahmed, and I are eager to present our project procurement. The project chosen is the construction of the Sydney Opera House. The Sydney Opera House was designated to be a sculptural landmark at Sydney Harbour. John Utzon's design required some of the most advanced engineering innovations of the time, including spherical geometric and prefabricated concrete shells. The project was owned by the New South Wales government. The original scope was to design and build a world-class performing arts centre with 4,200 seats. But due to several design and political changes during the construction, the final capacity reached 5,738 seats. These scope changes were very important because they contributed significantly to delays and cost overruns. Some scope deliverables: Major Hall for opera and symphonic concert, Minor Hall for theatre performances, Chamber Music Hall, Podium Plateau, iconic roof shells formed by interlocking concrete sails, monumental steps and concourses serving as gathering space and outdoor auditorium, public foyers, concourses and access paths, advanced acoustics, lighting and circulation system. The schedule of the project should be 4 years, from the years of 1959 until 1963. However, the project finished in 14 years, between the years 1959 and 1973. The cost planned was estimated 7 million Australian dollars, and the cost final was 102 million Australian dollars.
Hello, I'm Amanda, and I'm gonna talk about the major scope changes in this project. The roof shells had to be completely redesigned using sphere-based geometry. The engineer team had to overhaul the entire structural system. After Hudson resigned, the interior was fully redesigned by Peter Hall, and the performance and public spaces were redefined several times. Because the scope was unclear and kept evolving, the project faced continuous modifications, delays, and major costs overruns.
These are the key stakeholders involved in Sydney Opera House project. The primary stakeholders include the NSW government as the project owner, the architects Jorn Utzon and later Peter Hall, and the engineer over Europe and partners, who were responsible for the structural design. The main contractors included Civil and Civic, Hornibrook and Wagner Byrne for different construction phases. External stakeholders include the Australian Public Performing Arts Company, cultural organizations, local business and media. The secondary stakeholders include workers' unions, suppliers, engineers, consultants, and government finance bodies. Legacy stakeholders refer to the Sydney Opera House Trust and UNESCO, responsible for the long-term preservation and heritage governance.
For this slide, I will highlight the main procurement choices used in the Sydney Opera House. The project relied mostly on cost-reimbursable contracts because the scope was unclear and changing all the time. They also used time and materials for specialized engineering work, while the fixed-price contracts were almost impossible because of the constant changes. In terms of procurement vehicles, the project started with an open design competition and later moved to negotiated procurement and direct government procurement, which reduced competition and increased the costs.
After questioning the 5 whys, the following points summarize why this failure occurred. First, the design construction overlap. Second, the undefined scope trending. Third, supplier and material challenges. Fourth, the political acceleration. And fifth, the contractor and the consultant turnover. I will talk about who was responsible, what was the impact, and how was it addressed. The Sydney Opera House had four responsible parties: NSW government approved without the completion of the designs, architect Utizon finalized the specs during the construction, engineers calculated while building, contractors accepted and defined the scope. The impact was is that the budget grew from 7 to $102 million, 15 times over. Schedule stretch from 4 to 14 years. UT Zone resigned in 1966. Work was demolished and rebuilt repeatedly. The response was that the government appointed Peter Hall, restructured governance, implemented phased procurement, and absorbed overruns. Despite the failures, it opened in 1973 as an icon. Two lessons for my future projects. Lesson 1. Never procure before design is complete. Sydney issues tenders with incomplete specs, violating the principle of a clear scope before contractors selection. I will require a 100% design before any request for quote. For uncertainty, I will use time and materials, then convert to fixed price. Lesson 2. Match contract type to innovation. They used fixed price for unprecedented geometry, assigning unmanageable risk to contractors. Cost reimbursable with incentives was appropriate. I will use fixed price for proven work. Cost reimbursable with incentives for innovation. Success requires matching contract strategy to scope, certainty, and innovation level.